So what is Supernova?
Supernova is a combination of a MOBA game, a traditional multiplayer battle arena game, and a real-time strategy set in a sci-fi environment that we believe it pretty much sets it apart from the competition out there.
So this game's actually interesting because it started as a real-time strategy and then it kind of morphed into a MOBA. Can you go into a bit about how that happened?
Yeah, sure. Actually, we started with a quick prototype process of the development of Supernova, and after 6 months of production, we had the first prototype. It was full playable. We could try out the original idea, which was to have a real-time strategy game with some MOBA elegance, some simplifications compared to traditional strategy games. But after a bit of testing and prototyping, we realized that it would probably just be too complex for today's gaming audiences. So through an evolution of creating additional versions of the prototype of Supernova, we realized that what we should do instead is simplify particular features and core gameplay mechanics of the game. And we actually found ourselves just having eventually a game that was a MOBA game with RTS elements.
So we've seen heroes, we've seen champions, now we're seeing commanders in your game. Talk about them and how many different ones will be available.
We are just about to start the alpha version of the game that will introduce 12 commanders and 2 different factions for your armies that you can customize. And then down the line, as we open up the game to more players and we start later on in the new phases, we'll introduce more commanders constantly. But the actual dates and numbers of these will be announced at a later point in time.
So talk about how you're handling last hitting in your game.
We do have lasting Supernova, like in other MOBA games out there. But it has a much less relevancy to players, so it's for example, 10% additional inexperience point that a specific player will gain for last hitting. We wanted to make sure that specific areas of the game are simpler in terms of gameplay mechanics than other MOBA games out there, and in return we have some additional depth and complexities in other areas like composing your armies.
So how have you designed your game with esports in mind?
Well, esports has been, right from the start of the development of Supernova, has been a very important part of, I think, the game. We are big fans of esports. We watch a lot of matches of different games out there, in some cases actually in person as well. And we wanted to make sure that Supernova, from a gameplay perspective and also from an added feature support perspective, is going to be a very good fit for highly competitive gaming. So basically what we have is gameplay mechanics that support pro gaming, and what we have on our development roadmap is features that are going to support streaming and are going to support live competitions as well.
What are some of the challenges when breaking into the heavy populated MOBA market?
Well, obviously there are so many MOBA games out there. I think it's probably safe to say that Supernova is set apart from the crowd of MOBA games by many unique features. One is obviously the custom visuals, something that's probably not something you see in the crowded fantasy MOBA games. So we have a high sci-fi setting that looks quite different than most MOBA games out there. And additionally, we have these real-time strategy elements, which is a very core and very important part of the gameplay, which is not something that you can see in any MOBA game at all.
So how are you handling microtransactions in your game?
Supernova is certainly not pay to win. If players want to make a faster progress, so for example, an experienced MOBA player starts to play Supernova, they have the option to buy boosters for real money that will help them progress much faster. Players don't have any disadvantage if they don't want to buy real currency items in the game.
And what is the game releasing on PC and Mac?
We are currently focused on a PC version of the game, and later on we'll see if other platforms may be supported.
And if people want to sign up for the alpha and beta, where would they go?
We have a website already set up. It's supernovagame.com, where players can register and play the game as of this Thursday.